for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my colleague on the Rules Committee for yielding. Mr. Speaker, this rule and the underlying motion to concur with the Senate amendment to H.R. 3762, the Restoring Americans Health Care Freedom Reconciliation Act, mark a significant achievement for Americans who value life and economic liberty. After years of work and dozens of votes in the face of acerbic rhetoric hurled at us from across the aisle, this House will send to the President's desk legislation to remove the heavy hand of the federal government from Americans' health care and end the stream of taxpayer dollars that flows to an organization that brutally kills precious unborn lives. When the so-called Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010, Republicans warned that the law would cause significant increases in the cost of health care and health insurance, reduce full-time jobs and work hours available, and strain the safety net until it breaks. The American people were sold a bill of goods that has proven to be only a list of empty promises. Most of us recall clearly these assurances that we could keep our insurance plans, that we could keep our doctors, and that our out-of-pocket costs would go down. Mr. Speaker, the letters, emails, and telephone calls from my constituents tell me clearly that the Affordable Care Act has proven to be anything but affordable for North Carolinians, and the law has limited access to care and wasted billions of taxpayer dollars. It's time to undo this harmful law. Also included in the Senate amendment is a provision first passed by this House to stop the flow of federal mandatory funds to Planned Parenthood. While Planned Parenthood does not receive direct federal funding for abortions, these actions are warranted, as a recent report from the Government Accountability Office shows that the organization receives an average of $500 million taxpayer dollars each year for other lines of business. Money is fungible, and the federal funds that Planned Parenthood receives ultimately subsidize their abortion services. Fortunately, there are many more options for women's health care than the discredited abortion provider Planned Parenthood. While Planned Parenthood is only approximately 665 clinics, federally qualified health centers, FQHCs, and rural health centers, RHCs, have more than 13,000 publicly supported locations providing alternatives for women's health care. This means there are 20 federally funded comprehensive care clinics for every one Planned Parenthood. This bill does not change the availability of funds for women's health. It simply establishes a safeguard so that the nation's largest abortion chain is not the one providing such services. When federal taxpayers have legitimate concerns that their hard-earned dollars are flowing to organizations that sanction the dismemberment of unborn children, and that our system of law has loopholes allowing these atrocities to continue, we as their elected representatives are responsible for ensuring these concerns are heard and responded to. May I have 10 seconds?
I yield the gentlelady additional 15 seconds.
The gentlelady is recognized for 15 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our freedom rests on the cornerstone right we all have to life, and I fear we've lost sight of that. I urge my colleagues to support the rule and the underlying motion to protect innocent lives and restore our liberty. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlelady from North